primary in the state of Texas is coming up on March the 4th. At that time, everyone who's here who lives in the 14th Congressional District, you will have the opportunity to vote for Congressman Paul in his presidential race and in his re-election race to Congress. So you will see on the ballot in the primary his name will be on the ballot twice. President of the United States and his name will be on the ballot for his congressional district for re-election. So do not forget to vote for him there also. We do have new Ron Paul cookbooks. They are here today, so pick one up at my sign-in table. And at the end of this rally, when Congressman Paul is finished speaking, I will be having a rally. You have to be signed in for your name to be possibly drawn for a free copy of the United States Constitution that has been signed by Congressman Paul himself. So please be sure and get signed in. I thank you all for coming out today to show a big support and welcome. I would now like to reintroduce Mark Elam to you, who will be introducing Congressman Paul, who is hope for this nation and the greatest person who stands on the United States Constitution.
Thank you all. Thank you all very much. It's been my pleasure to know and work with Congressman Paul for 30 years. We go back to 1975 together. We both worked to elect Ronald Reagan president at that time, and we've been working together ever since. I'm going to make this brief. I just simply want to introduce to you the most outstanding congressman in America, the taxpayer's best friend, the champion of the Constitution, Congressman Ron Paul.
Thank you very much. Very nice, and we thank you very much. I'd like to first introduce my wife, Carol. And some of you may have noticed that we did have an anniversary yesterday, 51 years. We may have other members of the family show up. Right now we have one granddaughter, and that is Valerie. But I do want to thank you very much for coming out. This is very encouraging. As you know, I have been traveling a lot around the country. And actually the message I get around the country is to thank the 14th District. Because they figure the 14th District stands strongest for the Constitution of any district in the United States. And I understand that there was a revolution that started down here. There was the Texas Revolution, but the other revolution is
we have to let her see it so we can go home.
I was back to the original revolution of this country, and that means defending liberty and not an intrusion in our liberty, which has been continuously happening. You know, the position of the Constitution makes it very easy to have a platform. When we think about our platforms, and we think about our platforms and individual platforms, but quite frankly, the platform that we all should be running on is on the Constitution. And literally hundreds of thousands of copies of the Constitution have been passed out in this campaign. But we've been doing that in the 14th District for a good many years already, and I think this is very important because if you have a legislative branch, a judicial branch, and the executive branch ignoring the Constitution, what is left to it? You know, if you can ignore it in one or two places, it more or less cancels out the whole document. And I believe that's where we are today. So we indeed need an emphasis, a strong emphasis of the restoration of the limitation of powers that we have received in our Constitution. times individuals in charge will rationalize and claim the Constitution is used to restrict the American people. That's not the way it's written. It was written specifically for one purpose, and that was to restrain big government and not restrain the people. This is true in every area, whether it has to do with economic liberty, personal liberty, or foreign policy or monetary policy. It's very, very clear what we're supposed to do. The founders were geniuses. They had given us a document that was the best document ever. They had given us a country that was the freest ever. And they had given us a country that became the most prosperous. Today, we still have a lot of freedom left. We still have a lot of prosperity. But if you look at the fundamentals have been eroded. And a lot of our prosperity, tragically, is based on debt and on a monetary system that is very fragile. Therefore, we are called upon right now to reverse this trend. That reversal has started in the 14th district and is about to spread around this country, and believe me, to the tune of tens of thousands of people are listening to this message, and they are delighted to know that there has been a hardcore group of people here in Texas who truly believed in liberty and want to see this spread across the country. When I first ran for Congress in the 1970s, I believe economic issues were the main motivation for me, because I understood what happened in the 60s. In the 60s, I had been in the military for 5 years. I saw the spending that went on and also the increase in the welfare of the 60s. And we were told in the 1960s that you could have guns and butter and it wouldn't be a big problem. But lo and behold, in the 1970s, it was payback time. We had a very tough decade, a lot of inflation, a lot of unemployment, high interest rates, and a lot of stagnation that they call stagflation. And once again, we have embarked on the same program, only much, much worse. We spend too much, we inflate too much, we run up too many deficits, and now we are more engaged around the world than ever before, and it is bankrupting our country, and it's time we cut back and balanced our budget. Clearly, they had to deal with war, they had to deal with debt, they had to deal with runaway inflation. They had runaway inflation with the continental dollar. So when they wrote the Constitution, they were very precise. There would be no bills of credit, there would be only gold and silver as legal tender, and there would be no central bank either. So if we are to restore the Constitution, if we are to restore freedom in our marketplace and have sound money, we would not have a Federal Reserve System. That system of money was designed to deceitfully tax the people. The way they do it, they run up debt, they tax a lot, they borrow a lot, and they still don't have enough money. If they really want big government, so what do? They resort to creating money out of thin air, which does what? It devalues the money that we have. And that is why prices go up. That's why you have the inflation. And it's also the reason that you can read on a daily basis today the depreciation of the dollar, the weakness of the dollar, the collapsing of the dollar to the point now where the Canadian dollar is worth more than the American dollar. There's something wrong with our system, and that is demonstrated by the weakness of our dollar, and that means we need to get this stuff under control rapidly. Though I started off talking a lot about economic policies in the 70s, I have also gotten very much interested because I see the connection between deficits financing the welfare state and the banking system along with our foreign policy. We are overextended. There's a lot of justifications and a lot of rationalization and a lot of belief that we're doing the world a lot of good by sending our troops hither and yon around the world. But quite frankly, I am convinced that stuff backfires on us and comes back to haunt us and really hurts us in the long run. Even if people in this country believe it's all well-intentioned, we have to pursue it, quite frankly, it's impossible because we don't have the money. All great nations end when they overextend themselves overseas. Just think of in the most recent example, the Soviet system collapsed not because of can wise up and do the proper thing, and that is look to the Constitution for guidance. We have a responsibility in government, whether it's in the Congress or the presidency. The responsibility is to provide for a strong national defense and defend the liberties of the American people. It is not designed to police the world, be involved in the internal affairs of all the other nations of the world. The founder said, don't get involved in entangling alliances, don't get involved in nation building. And I would say that one big entangling alliance that we've been involved with for so long has not been a benefit to us, and I think we should get unentangled, and that is with the United Nations. There's a couple of things that they claim
Good, man,
that
good.
for once we talk about foreign policy of what the founders believed in. Matter of fact, it was the foreign policy that we as Republicans ran on in the year 2000.
It's on the internet.
We condemned Bill Clinton for his involvement in Somalia and Kosovo. We said that we as Republicans wouldn't be involved in nation building. So it is not strange to the Republican Party to have this position. But it is very important that we restate this position, but they frequently will say to us, oh, you're the crowd that are the isolationists. That is not true. There's a big difference between non-intervention and minding our own business and isolating ourselves from the world. Today we're on the verge of being isolated from the world because we don't use diplomacy. We have sanctions on countries. We threaten countries. Unfortunately, we have two choices as American people. We either go over and throw our weight around and threaten them with force, and if they don't do our bidding, we start to bomb them. And then if they do our bidding and obey what we request, then we end up giving them foreign aid. So I would say there's a third option. Why not just be friends with the people of the world? We are too often taxed to send money over, and we use money to destroy countries and blow up bridges. Then we're asked as taxpayers to take our money and rebuild their bridges. How about rebuilding our bridges here at home and taking care of the American people first? Because we are strict constitutionalists and believe that we shouldn't go to war only under the conditions of a declaration of war as the Constitution states. Some will argue that, well, that doesn't sound like you're supporting the troops. Well, if you didn't go to war, when the war is undeclared, just think of how many of our troops would be unharmed, uninjured, and not killed. We would be a lot better off, and I believe our national defense would be a lot stronger. Yesterday, or at the end of the month, in January, the reports for the presidential campaign had come out where the donations come from. And somebody did a survey, and it came out, it was on the internet yesterday, and it tells us what the military personnel are thinking and where they're sending their money. And it turns out that if you add up all the donations that went to all the Republican candidates, excluding myself, plus Obama and Hillary Clinton, if you add those all up, it's less than what we received from the military. When we volunteer or call to duty, as I was in the 1960s, we try our best to do our duty. But we also have to believe that we go and we get involved for the defense of our Constitution. And therefore, if we argue the case that we should be very cautious and protect and honor the lives of every individual who might be exposed, why wouldn't they be willing to defend that individual who best defends the Constitution? In 1913, when they introduced the idea of the Federal Reserve System, they also did something else in 1913 that has not served us well. And that is the introduction of the notion of the income tax. I think it's time to get rid of the income tax. The you'll work harder to keep your money. Maybe you would have enough money to buy medical care and the other things, to be able to buy a house and all these things that you're denied, because right now, middle-class America is being undermined through our inflationary system and our tax system. And the system of economic policy we have here has pushed our good jobs out overseas. Our good jobs are gone. Productivity is down. Our wealth is based on debt, and we're in a lot of trouble because of it. So this is the reason we don't need to tinker with the system. We don't need to tinker with our foreign policy and move troops here and there. What we need to start doing is bringing our troops home from around the world. That means not only from the Middle East, but why do we have troops in Korea? They've been there for 50, 60 years. Why do we have troops in Japan? Why don't they defend themselves? Why do we have to pay for it? Why do we have to have troops in Europe? We need that money back here at home. The military personnel needs to be spending their income and their salaries here at home, helping our economy. But economic prosperity is conceivably available to us if we do the right thing. Though we face difficult times, if we would only follow the rules, the rule of law, and the Constitution, and sensible policy, we don't have to close down any of the benefits of the people who have become dependent on the benefits here at home. For the long term, I would like to see the day not enough spending on security where we can offer the next generation a chance to get out of the Social Security system totally and completely.
What?
Okay, that's
paid for gas.
Yeah.
That's right.
No, that is what we need to do. Come up with a different system where we can go through a transition. We can do that with monetary policy.
I gotta get my rollerblades and goalie sticks
allow
for
gold
hockey
and
then,
silver
and the
to
gold.
circulate against the paper
I
money.
should take the gold, shouldn't I? Yeah, you should, because it's in our way. Okay, I'll take it, because we
Don't
got
change our way.
2 goals
We
up
will
there.
have a radical change thrown on us because there will be a collapse of the system, a collapse of the monetary system. Paper money has never worked throughout history. It always self-destructs. And gold money, silver money has lasted for the ages. Thousands of years it has been used, and we have to realize this. But I think that is what's happening this year. I think people are starting to realize, especially the young people. The young people have joined our campaign and have shown the interest, not only here at home, but around the country, because they know and understand that they're getting a bad deal. They're inheriting a war and the obligations there. They're inheriting an entitlement system of 50 or 60 or even $70 trillion, a Social Security system that doesn't have any money. No wonder the young people say, wow, this is an opportunity. We like this type of change, and we are going to support it. And I'm Right now we have a perpetual war. We're told the war is going to last forever, and nobody knows when it's going to end. And this war on terrorism. You have to realize terrorism is a tactic. It's not a country, and you can't have a perpetual war on a tactic.
That was when you were at your skateboarding. Your skateboarding high was when you left.
Into the hearts and minds of the people, so the people are willing to sacrifice their freedom. That is what we don't need. We never have to sacrifice any part of liberty to be safe and secure. But this is what has been happening. It has been undermined. Now we have warrantless searches. We have now secret courts and secret trials. We have secret prisons. We have torture. We have the challenge now to habeas corpus. This is undermining what the revolution did for us. That is why we fought the British. And now we're doing it to ourselves. We in the military and in government take an oath of office to uphold the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. Our threat to our liberties right now is here at home. When you think about when the people want to control those who own guns, they say, well, we have to we have to control the criminals, but we don't want to control the people who happen to own guns honestly safely and peacefully. Instead of dealing with the precise man and the problem of terrorism and the potential terrorists, what we have done now is we have decided to register and control the American people, and that is the wrong way to go. Now is a measure on the books called the Real ID, which is the national ID. And that is going to go into effect, as it looks like, on May 1st, which means if the state does not capitulate and go along and do exactly what the federal government tells us, the individuals, the people from those states that do not go along will not be able to fly on airplanes or will be able to get into a federal building or leave the country. We need to stop this trend. It's much more difficult once this gets entrenched to reverse the trend. In the past, when our civil liberties had been violated during the period of war, whether it was the Civil War, World War I, or World War II, or even in Korea, a lot of it got reversed. But today, because we're told this is going to be perpetual, I am fearful that unless we do truly rise up and say, listen, enough is enough, we want our freedom back. A lot of people get concerned, well, who's going to take care of us? What if we are in bad times? And what happens if you don't have an income tax? Who will be taking care of us? Don't we need some type of tax for the government to do all these things that they do? Sure, you do, if you want the government to continue to do all the things they're doing. But if you don't want the people, the Congress and the government to do these things, like policing the world and have an empire, and you don't want runaway welfare spending, you don't need the income tax at all. What we need to do is realize that the answers are available to us. They're not strange or different. They're part of our tradition. They're part of our Constitution. It's not like in some countries where they never knew liberty. In this country, we did. We knew what sound money was. We knew what true property rights. Remember in the old days when you didn't have to have your property threatened through eminent domain and a few other things? And there was a lot of respect for the Fourth Amendment and the First Amendment, but it's being challenged continuously. But we've at least had the traditions, and we knew what free markets did and how it can produce a prosperity. And we don't have to have the government running the nanny state, because the government produces nothing. The government only can take from one group, pass it on to the other group, and in the process they undermine the production, the productivity of the people. When you have a free society, when you have freedom for the individual, you release the creative energy and the excitement of going out and working hard, taking care of ourselves and taking care of our families. We have to assume the responsibility for ourselves as well.
I'm like that. I have like 18 slots out of the 48.
There have been a lot of good trends in this country. We've had one trend, though, that I did not like ever, and that was the trend toward the national government taking over our public school system. That's not part of the Constitution. But we've had this trend, at least still, it's legal to do homeschooling and private schooling, and that's been a great encouragement to this country. So what we need to do is energize the world, energize this district, and that's why I'm asking you for your help, both in the congressional races as well as the presidential race. We need to energize not only locally but nationally the next the young people and those who remember a better time. Unbelievably, throughout the country, the young people who had never participated have joined us. And unbelievably, some individuals that are 20 and 30 and 40 years old had never been involved before are now being involved. And others who had been involved, who got disgusted and never saw the changes. We elect one party to do something and they don't do it. Elect the other party to do it and they don't do it for us. And they're frustrated. They are now being encouraged. So there is truly a revolutionary spirit going on today. And I believe it did originate here. And it has been spreading. So I compliment you for that. And I thank you very much for your participation in that. fact, I think freedom is very popular. The great thing about freedom and our Constitution and our traditions is that it brings people together. Because if freedom is for the individual and not for groups, or for individuals to oppress other people, but just to release freedom and give individuals freedom, this means that we don't have to worry about our neighbors. We can be good neighbors without telling our neighbors what to do and without our neighbors telling us what to do. So this means that we come together, and lo and behold, we can come together. We can look different. We can have different attitudes. We can have different reasons why we want to use our freedoms. There's different reasons how we might want to spend our money. We can go to different churches. So all of a sudden, it's inclusive, and we don't have to be competitive. The opposite occurs under socialism and welfareism, because the control of the wealth, the control of the people, the control of the business, the control of the money goes to Washington, D.C., and then all of a sudden the pie starts to shrink, and people have to become more aggressive, trying to manipulate the regulations, to manipulate the tax code, to manipulate the expenditures, and do all these things to try to survive. So then it becomes very divisive. You can get away with it for a long time because the country had been very prosperous, but now we're less prosperous. The economy is turning down. The middle class is hurting. The middle class could get wiped out in inflation. That is what we're seeing. That is what we're seeing happening right now. But the people are sensing this. The people like you are miles ahead of the people I know in Washington, D.C. They know. They would like to deny the fact of the problems. They'll put their head in the sand. But now, all of a sudden, I've been talking about the economy for months, if not years, and now they're starting to say, oh, the economy is starting to hurt some people out there. What are we going to do? So what did they decide to do last week? The Congress, in their infinite wisdom, said, oh, let's print more money and pass out some checks. And that's going to solve our problem. Well, the House passed a bill. It was $150 billion. The Senate said, oh, that's not enough. They're working on a Christmas tree. They're trying to get it up to $200 billion. Well, if they had some money, it might not be all that bad. But they don't have money. So if they're going to further tax somebody, then it's just going to hurt them. Well, they probably won't tax. They'll probably try to borrow. But how much more can we borrow? Foreigners are tired loaning to us because our dollar is going down in value. So what are they going to resort to? Print up the money, and they think they're going to solve the problem of inflation. It makes no sense whatsoever. So the financial markets say, well, the stocks are going down. What we need are low interest rates to help push the stocks up and restore prosperity to Wall Street. Well, it turns out that the only way they can lower interest rates is print more money. So the very problems that the very policies that caused our problems, overspending, overtaxation, and overprinting of money, that's what they're going to do to try to solve the problem. We need to think about sound economic policy. It can be found in sound understanding of what freedom is all about. It is our lives. It is our money. We don't need the government to tell us what to do with our lives. We don't need them to tell us to do what we should do with our money. And we don't need to be telling people around the world how they should run their country either. It is under these conditions that we would restore, that I believe, true freedom and prosperity could be returned. It sounds scary at times when we look at all the problems, but it really isn't all that bad. If we get our liberties back, if we continue to do the wrong things, not only will we have a recession, it could get into a depression. So it isn't that difficult, and it is going to be very necessary. So I would like to see this enthusiasm carried through. We need a strong vote of endorsement of these policies that we have gotten for so many years here in the 14th District. We send a message not only across the state, but across this country, saying that freedom not only is truly popular, freedom really works. Thank you very much.
Let me make an announcement, please. or a picture taken with Congressman Paul or anything signed. We will be opening up this corner here, so if you would line up, Congressman Paul will be standing in front. We'll do this in an orderly fashion. We will take some time to do that. And then he will have an opportunity to mingle with you and visit with you a little bit in the crowd. I would like at this time to announce the winner of the signed Constitution by Congressman Paul. So when I call your name, if you would please make your way up in front here, I would greatly appreciate it. Would Andrew Glass please come forward? And congratulations. Andrew, this is a copy of the United States Constitution. As you can see down below, it is personally signed by Congressman Ron Paul. Congratulations.